This video is called Western Idiots and the Ideologies That Made Them. Think of the word receptive, especially in terms of romantic ideas. Ra-man-tic. What makes the man of God really raw? Tick. Well, he has a higher understanding of the importance of mind, body, soul, and spirit, and it is repugnant for people not to give him his rightful place. If you don't give me my tools, can I perform surgery? If you don't put me in the pilot seat, can I fly the fucking plane? If you don't give me the admiration of potential wives in my rightful place, can I control reproduction? Can I keep people safe from stupid scientists, their allies, and all the repugnant opposition few fools? Certainly, in terms of romance, this must come first and foremost, the direction of humanity. If there's a bunch of madness, at least if I control reproduction, it can be corrected within a couple generations or however long it takes. But if women don't admire me and submit, all hope is lost. The snake isn't going to magically transform into a hawk one day. All hope is lost. Make no mistake about that. Wisdom is superior to intellect, and the difference is focus. Receptivity to the superior, higher moral philosophy as a scale of one's foundational philosophy must not be rejected. You must understand this idea, and it must lead women, the most attractive especially, to admiring Pharaoh as the top martial artist, who, because of racism, certainly must be a black African. There's no way around that. The racism is so extreme from the other races, their betrayal so profoundly intense, that they couldn't possibly produce the top martial artist. What sense does that make? They did not stay with his family. They did not breed with his family. They betrayed him. They took on their own cultures and they rejected the true philosophy of Ra and martial arts. It doesn't take a genius to come to that conclusion. You're racist if you don't come to that conclusion. That's like saying the black African isn't a black African. No, he's not. He's not. Because you don't like him. Okay? It's a conclusion that is a no-brain conclusion. It's a no-brainer. Why didn't you come to that conclusion? Oh, because you don't like him. Right, because you're a racist fucking scumbag. Not because he's saying the obvious. He's saying the black African must be the black African. It's obvious. For anyone to say otherwise, it must be because they're a racist fucking coward that stigmatizes the pharaonic race. Think about it. So we talk about generational activity, right? That proves my point. Now, once you attach yourself to the most physically gifted race, right? In terms, and we'll go over how this relates to spatial intelligence, naturalist intelligence, existential, interpersonal, bodily, kinesthetic, intrapersonal. Right? Why did you reject them? Which culture did you breed in? You didn't breed in the followers of Ra. I don't see any of you saying anything about Ra or any kind of Igbo sun worship or any kind of leper society. I don't see any of that from you people. I see wolves. I see people talking about lions. I see Indians talking about elephants. I see California bears, American eagles. I don't see hawks and leopards. The qua, the hawk backwards. The H is the fence. I don't see any of this evidence in your cultures. Why did you abandon this? You didn't just change color and form. You abandoned these ideas. You couldn't possibly produce the pharaoh when you abandoned these ideas for hundreds and thousands of years. That's stupid. That's stupid to think that's a possibility. Anyway, moving on. So we look at the desire to conform, survive, cowardice, and stupidity, the lack of divine, refined sight, Ra find. Where you find Ra. The people who follow Ra are fine. Right? Do you see beautiful women coming my way? You see business opportunities? Do you see people standing with me? Or am I fine? Politically, socially, economically. And they're attempting to do so spiritually. They're attempting to cut off my spiritual power. Certainly God sees this and isn't moved in the slightest. He laughs at their pitiful, jealous attempts to come between me and God. Ra can protect the Pharaoh from all attempts by his enemies. That's without a question. His connection is secure. He has chosen this person. Nothing is going to change that. It is you who get penalized. If you don't love and respect and submit to Pharaoh, you and your families are penalized. Make no mistake. So what are the forms of intelligence? Spatial, visualizing 3D world objects relative to you. Naturalist, martial arts intelligence. Naturalist, understanding living things and reading nature. Rhythm. That's the next one. Natural, that is a martial arts intelligence. Musical is not necessarily a martial arts form of intelligence. Neither is sandal making. Or even weapons making, per se. Because I can grab a stick, make it sharp, and stab you in the fucking eye. Okay? So musical, masonry, craftsmanship, okay, science, right, logical, mathematical, these aren't necessarily natural forms of intelligence. They mean little to nothing in terms of true intelligence, in terms of wisdom. I can make a golden fork shine like the best of them. No, who fucking cares? I've made the sharpest weapon. Who fucking cares? I do calculus. Who cares? Calculus does not get you into heaven. Obeying Pharaoh does. And if you spend all your time trying to figure out calculus and advanced physics and so on, quantum physics, instead of why you should obey Pharaoh, you have lost, you fool. Musical, discerning sounds, the pitch, tone, right? If you can sing a song and you don't obey Pharaoh, get her out of here. She's a dumb bitch. Get him out of here. He's a weird, Ebert, gender-neutral coward. I have no time for that kind of stupidity. Logical, mathematical. If you spend all your time immersing in science and math, instead of cultivating morality and spiritual power, you're an idiot. I have no time for that stupidity. Existential, why we live and die, martial arts. Interpersonal, sensing people's feelings and motives, honing the senses, reading your opponent, martial arts. Bodily, kinesthetic, coordinating your mind and body, soul, spirit connection, martial arts. Linguistics, racial supremacy. He doesn't speak my language that my people have been cultivating and refining to suit our needs and our ideas for generations. They absolutely fit with our culture, our DNA, our brain structure, our body structure, vocal cords, what have you. Intrapersonal, martial arts. How well you understand yourself. Sparring, observation. Right? The teacher cannot teach the master sparrer. He's not there with him. He can't communicate what cannot be consciously understood. It is his observation, his subconscious mental processes, and some kind of spiritual process that cannot be detected by science. Versus the teaching, right? And there's wordplay there. The T is the plus, the H is the fence, right? Teach, E-A-C. Or backwards, the key, E, right? The chi, the key, Q-I, K-E, right? The IQ test, Q-I, and so on. Natural intelligence versus the application of knowledge, okay? There's a difference between observation and the different levels of consciousness and the spiritual level you observe and the application of knowledge, right? There's a difference between natural intelligence and mental conditioning. The difference between Horus the Elder and Horus the Younger, who is being taught by his mother, right? If you fixate on Horus the Younger, not only are you missing the point of life, you're being subjugated by women and guys who have taken on a feminine form of intelligence. Why do you think most teachers, or at least a large percentage of them, are women? Because this is for females, for homemakers, for maintenance people, right? They maintain the household. This is not for leaders. Leaders aren't teachers. They give commands. Do your own research without being taught by the non-Sun Temple martial artists or non-martial artists. Observe. You see how I'm being forced to lower myself to the level of idiots who don't naturally know why they should submit to me. Foolish women who have been bred to have this pathetic form of stupidity that doesn't allow them to treasure the virtue, the truth in me. That doesn't allow for them to submit to me. They submit to their cowardice. They submit to conformity and psychology. They don't submit to God in me. God among you can only be in Pharaoh. You can't do it yourself. You can't even rise uncontrolled yourself. Have you not proven my point 1,000,000 times over? And if you rose uncontrolled and with wisdom, wouldn't it lead you to submitting to me? Observe, absorb, obizorb. Observe the sun and its spiritual message. Absorb the spirit of the sun, not just the rays. What happens when you drink something? Right? Your lips get wet, right? You wet your mouth. Okay, is the point to wet your mouth or to absorb the liquid? But can you absorb the liquid by drinking it without wetting your mouth? And this is why the black man has evidence of that. But can you absorb the martial arts spirit and not have a superior martial arts physique and figure? This is why the Indian is not the same as the sub-Saharan Igbo African. Neither is the East African. Beautiful people, nice artwork, nice music, nice culture, nice food. But yes, they are to be subjugated. And historically, their peoples have been subjugated by the superior sub-Saharan African. Look at the case in point with South Africa, when the migration of more West African-like people replaced the more East African-like ones and gave you the Zulu tribe, the most warlike and successful tribe in that regard in South Africa's recorded history. Passing the flame of Prometheus, the flame of liberty, the Statue of Liberty, right, is being passed by a lukewarm, gender-neutral female versus light from God. Now, I've gone on Tinder and I've seen this one female. She was a white female taking on dreadlocks, and she's trying to throw a bone to her allies in the black community and in the reggae community and so on, Rasta and so on, okay, dreadlock community, by saying she prefers the Bob Marley type, right? Nothing can be, there can be things that are more despicable. That is despicable. You can choose that type because you understand that you are not a suitable helper because you're a dumb bitch. But for you to use the word prefer as if that type is superior, that I cannot respect, you are a coward. Bob Marley would have bowed to me naturally and said, I am the Pharaoh. How come he would get it and you don't? Ra staff Eri. Ra staff, not Yah. Rasta. The staff goes to Ra. The archetype of Pharaoh was Horus, not some law temple bitch. La 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 la. I'm a dumb bitch. No. For you to prefer that which I despise, that is pathetic. I am your superior. You are a dumb bitch. In this world, so the scientists look on their face when they realize my points. When I make these points, what look do they have on their face? Is it looking, he's wrong? Or do you see the jealousy? Do you see the cowardice? Do you see the body, the mannerisms giving away, without mind control, mind you, without me drugging them or any bitch shit that bitches do, right? Giving away that I'm right. The look in their eye, their perspective. Oh my gosh. No, he's wrong. I have it here somewhere. I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. That's the look they have. Fuck you if you don't see it. In this world, due to ill-gotten gains, as the sun gate closes, the highest moral philosophy, the most superior, leads one to being sabotaged. When they are, because it leads one to being a pure Sun Temple, black African martial arts with a pure masculine spirit over time. Okay, it is not the race. It is their culture and their decisions. If you're moving to be superior, you're moving toward the black African, pure masculine Sun Temple. Where the fuck do you think you're moving? To Dexter's Laboratory? You're moving into San Francisco in the Castro? You're wearing a thong? The fuck do you think it takes you, you idiot? Everyone is trying to take away from mentally, physically, and when it comes to perceptions of spiritual power, they're logically acting like bitches. Logically, this would lead to your death one way or another, and a disdain for those holding back what he needs, love and intimacy needs, being the bell that rings the loudest, a disdain for women.